Hey everybody, welcome to the episode of Happily Hester After.
Fail.
I mean, she wasn't there. You like our Mr. and Mrs. shirts? Yeah. We're selling them at the link below. I'm kidding, we're not selling anything. I wish we were. Give us money. So, right now we are doing the next installment of our Young Love series, and last episode we were talking about what happened after I got her number.
No, that's what we're talking about this time.
Well, last time we said
last time we were
gonna talk about what happened after,
how he tried to be a player and get my phone number.
And phone number.
How he was like, "Let me get them digits, girl," and I was like, "Nah," and he was like, "Yeah, please let me get them digits."
Please.
So I was like, "Okay." So this is what happened after I gave him my digits.
So shortly after she gave me her phone number, I contacted her and I was like, "Yo, what's poppin', cuz?" She was like, "Oh, nothing
You were
much."
not that smooth. We started texting, and then at first he started off as one of those, like, he would text me, you know, he would text back quickly until a certain point when he would take like forever. Like, we would have this rapid conversation going forth for like an hour, and then like I would respond, and then an hour would pass before I hear from him again.
Now, mind you, I worked a job part-time at a restaurant called Zaxby's.
I worked for the Lord.
She didn't work at all. I worked at a restaurant part-time called Zaxby's, and it was a lot of hard work. And when I came home, I was tired. So that's where a lot of my energy went. But when I did contact her,
now he was playing games. He was playing them games, acting like he wasn't gonna respond to try to leave me along and all that stuff. He was playing them games, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Because when I did contact her, we were having a great conversation. It was awesome. Man.
Exactly. That's the perfect time to be playing them games. He was playing them games.
Anyway, so we talked for a while, and I don't know, like, you tell me, what was the conversation like? I don't know. I mean,
we just talked about the most random thing. Like, we were just getting to know each other. At this point, I think I knew you were into me, flirting with me, because you,
Don't touch me.
because you asked for my digits. When we
just because you asked for someone's number does not mean.
Whatever. So we just kind of got to know each other. Like, we were friends before we got, like, together. We were pretty good friends. We knew, we started to learn as much about each other as possible. It was just kind of, innocent. Like, oh, hey, talking about this and that. Getting deep, talking about how we both like poetry.
Now, just to recap, we met in high school. Okay, I was in 11th grade. She was a freshman. So I know we look older now, but we're not that old.
So it was just innocent. In fact, somebody was talking to other people.
Yes, I was talking.
It was both of us.
It was innocent. I mean, we weren't together yet. There's no commitment. I didn't know who she was for real. She didn't know who I was. So I was talking to some ladies on the side. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She was talking to.
I was talking to some guy.
One guy on the side. And so it was like that. And what happens is, especially when you're developing a relationship, you do this thing it's like a pruning period, and you just choose the best options from what you have. So from the girls that I was talking to, all of them were just either dull or they weren't interesting me enough for me to keep talking to them. And she made the cut. She made the cut.
I made the cut. I am the cut.
That didn't make sense.
Yeah, so I was talking to this guy. Not gonna divulge any personal information, but from the get-go,
his name's right here.
Whatever. From the get-go, I liked him better, but you always have to have a backup. Like, you have to have somebody to carry your book bag and follow you around like a little puppy.
And back in high school, look, let's be real.
It's high school.
Even once we got together, you still kind of had to have a backup. You know what I'm saying? You had that one number that you knew you could call just in case the relationship fell apart.
Who?
You didn't have one? You didn't have,
had one?
Did I say I had one? I said, sometimes in relationships, you gotta have that backup.
Sometimes. This is not one of those times. Who was it?
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I didn't know you like that.
Who are you calling?
I didn't know you like that, bro. I was like,
knew.
just in case, man. Just in case, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so, for me especially, it was January 8th when we first got together. January 8th, 2012. Oh. And yes, I still remember it.
Look at you. Because you didn't remember in the last video.
Anyway.
You were too busy talking to your side people.
January 8th, 2012, we first got together. What the situation was that she was getting tired of it. She was fed up. She was like, this dude's playing around.
No, not really.
She was like, I'm sick of this. I got 3 other guys I got going on. Let me see what he says.
Not really. So we were both talking to different people at that time. And what happened was, when we first started dating, like right before we first got together, I had only been talking to one guy. And you know, like I said, I had always liked him, you know, better. You know, he was my first choice, for real. But you know, the other guy, he was my, you know, he's my backup. And he started to get tired of being backup. But we'll talk more about that in the next installment. We'll talk about how we actually got together. But we definitely, before we started dating, we were talking to some other people. You know, I had my eyes around. I was looking. I was like, ooh.
Because it's high school. I mean, that's what high school is.
I mean,
about,
legit. Like,
you know
before we got together, I had just gotten out of a long middle school relationship, so I was ready to have fun. Even when we started dating, I was like, it's gonna be a 2-month-long relationship. Then we're gonna break up, and then I'm gonna go and sow my wild oats.
And I also was recently out of a pretty hard relationship where the girl was more focused on sex than knowing my name, and come to find out she was cheating on me in her hometown. Anyway, you know, that wasn't important. Just know that I was out of a relationship recently, so I was feeling like a little hoe. So, you know, everything was different. Each of our intentions were different.
So anyway, so we were just kind of texting. It was just kind of fun, you know, trying to enjoy life. We were high schoolers. And he was flirting with me frequently. And he refuses to admit it even to this day. But he told me, he was
I'm just extremely charismatic.
No, he was like, I'm trying to learn Italian. So he would say things to me like, good night, beautiful, in Italian and stuff like that. You don't just, good night, beautiful.
Buonanotte, bella. I still know it.
Good night.
Because that's the stuff you learn.
If I good night, beautiful.
I didn't rub you, first of all.
Okay,
Second
but that's what you rubbed me with your words.
Second of all, I've had plenty of people call me beautiful. I've had girls call me cute. That didn't mean nothing.
They were in love with you.
No, it didn't. They were totally cool with me.
They thought you were.
And then I found out they were in love with me after I got into a relationship.
They thought you were their boyfriend.
I didn't whisper in your ear.
That's what it was like.
Go ahead.
That text message went straight to my heart.
I mean, I'm sorry you fell so hard for stuff like that, man.
So, you know, after that time, I know I started to catch feelings. He acted all brand new like he wasn't catching feelings, but I started to catch feelings. And I was like, dang, I think I like him more than the other guy. So we started to, you know, text more. And then I'll never forget when we had our first phone call. You remember?
No.
Okay, so I believe there was some type of like awards or something going on. And you were in the room with
your brother. Was that it?
Yes, that was it. It was our first phone call, and we spent most of the phone call reading each other our poetry.
That's so long ago. So you gotta realize, back then my brother was in his early 20s. He's almost 30 now. So you gotta think of how long ago that was.
I remember it. And I remember T-Pain was singing.
It was some award.
And you were like, oh, this is awful or something like that.
MTV or something else like that.
So that was our first phone call. I'll never forget that. And that was when I was kind of like, dang, like, I want to be in a relationship with this guy. I caught feelings hard. Whatever. So then I had a friend who, she came over to my house one time and she was talking about, we were talking about something, and I was texting him and she was like, who you texting? And I was like, oh, I'm texting, you know, Daryl. And she was like, oh, he's cute and oh, he has a job and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, but slow your roll. I like him. Therefore, you cannot like him.
Oh, it was like that.
Yeah. It was one of those things. It was more like, okay, but.
Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I had that situation too. My wife was working for the yearbook at the time and she had walked into one of my classrooms where I was sitting next to my friend. So as she walked in, she didn't say anything to me directly, but I remember having a conversation with her earlier that week. So my friend turns to me and says, dang bro, who that girl right there? She looking good. And somewhere deep in my soul, I was like, that's mine. That's all mine. But I didn't say nothing out loud. I was like, yeah man, ooh dang. So basically, messed that one up.
We have both caught feelings pretty hard. So in the next installment, we'll talk about how we acted on those feelings and inevitably ended up at this point right here. So make sure that you all are subscribed. Make sure that you hit that bell button so that you can receive notifications whenever we post new videos, and especially whenever we post that video, because the next part gets pretty juicy, pretty intense. You know, I'm talking about like threats and like almost fights and stuff like that.
Kissing behind the vending machine, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
So make sure that you all are subscribed and have hit that bell button so you can get notifications of it. Also make sure that y'all smash that like button. Is it like this way? Like this way. Anyway, hit that like button. Comment below. Tell us more about your own personal love stories, or tell us more about what you want to know. Ask us any questions that you all have about us, about our relationship. Root us on in the comments. Be like, yeah, you go. Y'all been going strong for all this time. Yada yada. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Just remember, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Lord willing, we will see y'all next time.
Wait, we used to do this thing where we wave our hand, come back, and make a heart. Wait, do it again.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, see you next time. That's whack.
Bye, y'all.
That's whack, bro. Don't ever do that again.